I think New Zealand is already a very, I would say, friendly destination towards the Muslim. Muslims can be a whole spectrum of people coming from very different walks of life. Not everybody wears this headscarf or the hijab. Muslims don't drink alcohol. We have comfortable people, drinking beer, for example, on the same tour bus as us. We're not drinking it, they're drinking it. And I think we are accommodating and we are acceptable, accepting other faiths. I think it's just that how we are perceived can be quite misleading, I would say. Sometimes when you go to hotels, they can offer you champagne as a welcome drink. Be mindful of they will not drink. So just knowing the little nuances that actually comes with, serving the Muslim population is all that needs. If we touch a dog, we need to wash before we can pray, actually. Any animal, when you touch, you need to wash. But particularly with dog, we have this kind of different stigma around it. It have actually kind of escalated into kind of a phobia, I would say. One of the reasons is, I think, also because dogs are friendly and they actually come towards you. Ideally, we would like not to be in a situation where we are in close contacts with dogs. I think, again, this comes back to where they're coming from and what's their worldview. So you could find some women, for example, are not very comfortable sharing, let's say, having a mixed gender bathrooms. When you come in a group and then telling them, this is a mix, now you actually see their reaction on the face, and it's not a really good, way to. Sometimes they're forced to say yes because they are looking at the social interaction of the other people, giving the information in advance to tourists, saying, this is a mixed bathroom or toilet, so that potentially in future there's no conflict with that. If you have somebody who's actually going to, let's say, bungee jump, tell them, inform them the process of, let's say, putting the harness, I need to touch your shoulder or I need to touch your head, and then giving them the choice, will you be comfortable me doing it, or do you want a woman to actually help you with that? Halal food means there's a specific way of actually slaughtering the animals that we eat. For a restaurant, for example, I think it's really important to identify, maybe with them, or they could even have a different menu, for example, because I've seen in some restaurants where they actually have a separate kind of a leaflet which is inserted into a menu saying, these are the options available. The Muslim Association here, they have a website where they put all the information where they can buy meat, which restaurants to go. When tourists actually go to restaurants, some of them actually, that's like a resting kind of a spot, a stop. So a lot of them actually want to pray at the times as well. I think it's a really welcome touch, I would say. If there was a specific room, you don't have to create a big room, just an area where they can just go and pray. If it's not available, they would not make a fuss out of it. But they feel appreciated when it's available. Then when you're on a tour, especially when you're on a tour with, let's say, a guide or just a family, they might even ask you to stop and pray somewhere. But if there are other people with them, they wouldn't do that. A really good way to do is actually ask them, like, what do you want? What are you comfortable with? What's your preference? Treat them as any other tourist, but just be mindful they are also different to some extent in certain ways.